was rejected in France and in the Netherlands and did not collapse, because this was a wrong argument. So today people have the feeling that they can critique European Union as much as they want, and there is no risk with that.
But is
yeah.
this the main division today inside the Parliament? If you
yeah.
are in favor or not?
I think there are many divisions. There is one between pro and anti-European, which has always been. Now more and more you have one between left and right, because the point is not anymore so much on are we going to do some more Europe or less Europe, is how are we going to manage the system. Because now it's not only not anymore the question of building Europe, but making it functioning. And then when you start discussion, what are you going to do with the budget? What are we going to do as an industrial policy, as a social policy, as a regional policy? Then you have some very clear divide between left and right, because the positions are not the same. So I think you have a cleavage between pro and anti-European, you have a cleavage between left and right, and you have many other cleavages between north and south, small and big states, agricultural states and non-agricultural states, old states and new member states. And you have also some very important thematic or sectoral cleavages. Because another thing I did not say is groups are important, but parliamentary committees are very important also. And very often people are also fighting. There is a new regulation, I don't know, of the use of pesticides within agriculture. And then you will have the member states sitting in the agricultural committee, they will advocate to keep it. And the ones sitting in the industrial committee, they will be much in favor of the industrial chemical industry. And the one in the environmental committee, they will be very concerned about environmental protection. And so very often you have those sectoral divisions inside the European Parliament. So you have multiple levels of cleavages in the European Parliament. And in fact it helps to build consensus, because there is no major cleavage. So it's possible to build something over that, because you are never in a situation where you have two groups of people that don't want to collaborate. You can always find ways to turn the problem in another way, in a technical way, and find a solution to build a consensus. Just regarding the situation in Brazil, the fact that people will be obliged to vote for election without maybe having a point of view on that, or the knowledge, or something.
Maybe with the manipulation of the debate, that's what I'm concerned with, because people say, oh, Brazil has spent so much, Brazil has done so many things for Argentina, for instance, in the market field, so why should we continue this?
Yes. I think the key here is, and maybe it's not a good news, it's political parties. Because if you take the political situation at national level, because in Europe people used to say, okay, citizens are asked to vote for European elections, but they don't know how it works, the norms are too complicated, the system is too complicated. But this is the same case with the national political system. People, they don't know how a law is done. They don't know what is the environmental policy of the government Sarkozy. They don't have a single idea. And they don't know exactly who's doing what, because if you look really in detail, it's so complicated. But at the national level, there are two things that help people to find their way. First, they have a vision of how the system functions. We have elections and a parliament and a government, a president, and even if it's not like that, because policies are the result of policy networks, lobbying, expertise, etc. Anyway, they have a vision, the system functions like that, and this is democratic and legitimate because we have legislative elections like that. And the second element that helps them very much is political parties, because they feel close from our political parties for many reasons, interest, education, culture, etc., etc. And then they know if they must be happy or unhappy with the government policy, and it works like that. And what we lack very much in European Union, people have no representation of the way it works, because it's not like at national level, so they just don't understand. And political parties are not very much involved, so they don't know what to think. Because even the leader don't have a clear discourse about that. If you listen, for instance, to Nicolas Sarkozy's discourse on European Union, it's very contradictory, so they don't know if they must be happy with the European Union or not, etc., etc. So then people feel a bit lost. And I think that the situation here is the same. Everything will work well if the political parties are doing the role of decoding what's happening in Mercosur and giving things to citizens, having clear positions. Then, if there is some division inside the political parties or some stupid strategy wanted, and we have that very much in the European Union as well, because even the main political parties, they're always complaining about European Union because it's so easy to do it. You are elected and you say, I'm going to solve an unemployment problem, and then you're not able to do it. And what you say, that's not my fault, it's the Commission's fault. The Commission is saying that and that, I cannot spend more. I would like to do it, but those crazy European rules prevent us to do so. We are not allowed, and they never explain that those rules were elaborated with the member states, voted, that treaty were ratified, and European Union is not something that came from hell, but that was decided and built all together, etc., etc. But when you are elected, there is always a temptation of saying that it's not my fault, it's European Union. So I think the main point will be that. Are political parties here mature enough to have clear position on European integration, or regional integration here on the Mercosur, and able to deliver a clear discourse, an honest discourse on that, or are they demagogue trying to gain attraction by saying that that stupid system was imposed by somebody and we're going to pay for the other, etc.